Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger, and so glad you joined us on Coffee with Krueger this morning. Boy, it was a wet day for some of us this morning, not for everyone. And it was wet last night for some of us, but again, not everyone. And of course, not to mention this morning, look at the rain that we're still seeing. Boy, there's just been this constant feed of moisture over parts of Northern California yesterday, keeping that steady, light rain in some areas and heavier rainfall for others. This is one of those situations where I can say it was raining and then you're saying, well, what are you talking about? It didn't rain for me at all. Or vice versa, right? So you look at the radar, you know where you live, you know where you're going, and that's what you're dealing with at this point. Now, what I want to do here is zoom in on each region because you can see, not a lot of rain. It's not very heavy, and it hasn't really been, for the most part, to the north end of the valley. Anderson, Redding, Palo Cedro, City of Shasta Lake. Lakehead seeing some of these light showers as well. And of course, we take you down to the south, and you can see some heavier showers, more moderate, just to the east of I-5, northeast of Red Bluff, southeast of Anderson. Red Bluff, you saw some showers. Now they're starting to kind of break up a little bit here. Dairyville, still seeing some light showers right now. We take you to the south, Corning, you're about to see some showers as this all moves to the north and east. So that is also a little patch of rain that'll probably hit Los Molinos, Dairyville, and not to mention Red Bluff, keeping that chance for showers in the morning hours. But look at to the south. Now, you're seeing kind of the weird colors of green there, east of Willows and around the radar. That's just ground clutter. We're not really seeing much in the way of rain. There may be some light drizzle here and there in some areas here, but for the most part, it's not that intense. We're not looking at anything really. Really, as you head south and southeast of Corning, it's actually fairly dry out there this morning. Now, we are still seeing some showers right now out towards the Garberville area. There you can see, of course, those showers just kind of slowly moving themselves off to the northeast. Nothing terribly heavy, but you can kind of see some of the bands of darker greens and some yellows and oranges in there as well. We take you up to the north and east. There you can see again, looks like around Mad River, High Palm, Big Bar, Hayfork, Weaverville. You may see some of that light shower activity here soon, if not already. And out towards Siskiyou County, we're just seeing some stray flurries out there, not to mention in Modoc County. And to the south, we've also got some of those light flurries out there as well. And of course, we're still looking at some chain requirements out there, which we'll take a look at in a second. Take a look at these rainfall totals the last 24 hours. So Redding, a big portion of Redding was really dealing with that light shower activity all day long. At some points of the day, it was a little bit heavier than others. And Chico didn't quite see as much. It was more drizzly than anything else. That's also the case for Oroville. But look at Red Bluff and Corning. Remember I was talking about this shadowing that we were expected to see, and that certainly was the case because we just didn't see as much. It was drier to the south of Redding, around Red Bluff and Corning. And obviously not as much to the north and east, but Susanville did see about 3,600 of an inch of rain. And there you can see out towards what? You know what? Those numbers are all wrong. I apologize, folks. Let's see why. I thought I had put them in there properly. Let's see if maybe I'll try something here. I don't think I did, though. I don't think I did, but I'm going to double check. Let me try this one. If this doesn't work, then I apologize. I don't have the numbers for you. Oh, you know what? Those are it. Those are it. Okay, that's what I thought. There you go. All right, so here we go. Those are the rainfall totals that we've seen in the last 24 hours. I apologize, Oroville, you are covered up. Let's move that up a little bit for you. There we go. Yep, there we go. Now we're better. I'm just going to go ahead and save that. Okay, good. All right. So take a look at the rainfall totals. Again, so we did actually see a little bit more than you did see than I was mentioning here out towards the center part of the valley, but not as much, right? Only about 1/10 of an inch of rainfall there. And we did see 88 hundredths, again, in the last 24 hours. So I think we're going to exceed an inch once all is said and done for places like Redding, right? And even maybe even to the north of that. So yeah, very nice to see these totals here because we can certainly use that rainfall. Rainfall is always nice. But overall, I'm expecting to see, of course, the showers continue this morning. There you can see, of course, to the west, out on the coast, yeah, very impressive amounts of rainfall. I mean, we're talking, what, 1.81 in Trinidad, 1.96 in Clem. Look at that over Redway, over 2 inches of rain. But again, you head off to the north and east, Susanville, only about 300ths, 1500ths out in Alturas, about 1/4 of an inch out in Bernie. So yeah, very nice rainfall totals. Take a look at the severe weather outlook. The area in green, the thing is, there could be a stray thunderstorm. One of the key factors to if we see any thunderstorms will be if we get enough clearing in the morning and through the morning hours, because that could allow us to see some daytime heating, and that will create more what we call convection. And we're looking at more of the possibility for some convective thunderstorms. So, don't be surprised. The chances are pretty slim, but don't be surprised if you live in that area and you see a thunderstorm. Temperatures in the low 50s right now in the valley. We're sitting at about 50 for Redding, 52 degrees for Chico, 52 out in Oroville, Alturas about 33 degrees, and there you can see temperatures in the 40s for the coast. Take a look at that. You're looking at Lake Oroville, North Forebay. You got the overcast skies, but it is dry out there right now. Let's see. You can see, of course, those winds not blowing that much. So, yeah, you got the mainly cloudy skies, but it looks like just calm conditions. I mean, you've got that crystal clear lake that we're looking out there. Nice reflection off the lake there. Still a little wet in some spots. It was drizzly out in Chico. So that's the reason why the roads are a little wet out there. But for the most part, it's fairly dry. Of course, you look at the cars there, you don't see their windshield wipers are on, so that's one indication, right? You'd hope they'd have the windshield wipers on when it's raining. There you can see Highway 99 at Neal Road, and it looks like traffic is running smoothly there. Still some ponding and some puddling there in the center divide there, but obviously not wet. We still have some chain requirements over the higher mountain passes, though. So you can see Cedar Pass, Highway 89, right? Of course, those higher elevations on 44 and 36 near Susanville and down to the south. In fact, still some chain requirements to the south, not as many, but still some closures too. So really, Caltrans is still kind of cleaning up the mess that we saw with this past weekend storm. And here we are on Wednesday, right? So this is what it looks like in Wairika. There you can see a bit of a fog. It looks a little foggy out there. Visibility has dropped a bit out towards the north. As things start to clear out a little bit, we are going to start to see some of that fog begin to develop. So be prepared for that if you are heading north on I-5. Still a little wet with those roadways, but it's wet, not snowy. Look at that. A lot of the snow has melted on the side of the highway there for both Dunsmuir and Mount Shasta. Snowman Summit looks pretty good there. There are no chain requirements on Snowman Summit, just those wet roads, but plenty of snow still on the side of the road there. Grass Lake, Mount Hebron, no chain requirements on Highway 97. We take you out to Highway 199, Collier Tunnel, north of Collier. Looks good there as well, and not to mention south of the Oregon state line at 1,700 feet. A lot of the snow that we did see is beginning to melt because we're getting rain on top of that, not to mention the warmer air moving in. There you can see Buckhorn Summit. This is actually just below. One thing I want you to remember when you're looking at this is not Buckhorn Summit, the image. It never has been. So this is below Buckhorn Summit, and there you can see that's at about 2,600 feet. Oregon Mountain, 2,700 feet. There's Berry Summit. Looks like a CHP car out there doing his duty this morning. 2,600 feet there. Looks dry, and some of the snow is also melting on the grass there as well. Hatchet Mountain. Looks like I actually did see some flurries out there this morning. There you can see Highway 299, 89. Looks pretty good there, just wet, but wow, look at that. Still lots of snow. And it has been snowing and will be snowing up in Modoc County, in some areas in Modoc County here this morning and into the afternoon. There you can see Shingletown at 3,500 feet. Looks just wet, but not slick outside of the fact that it's just a wet road. Laston Park still looks like a snow-covered road there. Got to see some snow, and out towards Bogard Ranger Station. Looks a little icy there. Of course, chain requirements, by the way. Highway 3689 looks pretty good there. This is just outside of Chester. There you can see Johnson Grade at 4,800 feet. And for down your summit, looks like you have some chain requirements there as well. All right, we take you out to State Route 36 and 44. 5,000 feet. Northwest Susanville on Town Hill, 4,500 feet. Looks good there. And dry roads in southeast Susanville at 4,200 feet. All right, let's take a look at the planner for today in Trinity County. You've got those temperatures getting in the upper 40s. Now, I'm anticipating some of those morning flurries and showers. Again, the flurries above 4,000 feet, by the way. So we could see some stray showers this morning. And then as we get into the late morning hours, it dries out. And I do expect dry conditions for the rest of the day. For the North Coast, dry all day long, depending on where you are. If you're in Garberville, South Humboldt County, different story. You're seeing the rain now, but that will eventually dry out later this morning as well. There you can see, looking at Siskiyou County, looks like we are going to be looking at those showers this morning, but as we go through the afternoon into this evening, that'll all be out of here, and I think we'll see snow flurries above 4,000 feet for Modoc County off and on throughout the day today, and then by tonight, that's all pretty much gone. How about the East Mountains? Could also see some of those flurries off and on throughout the day today. Could see some breaks in the clouds. Temperatures in the mid-40s, give or take, although Paradise more like 54. And how about that Valley planner for today? Well, I think we're going to see most of the rain, especially this morning, in Redding and Red Bluff. And not to mention Corning, seeing some of that as well. Chico, for the most part, is dry now, but I do anticipate as the storm shifts to the south-southeast, later this afternoon and evening, Chico, Oroville, you'll eventually get in on some of this rain as well. And maybe just maybe an isolated thunderstorm. Look at Highway 299 near Old Chastity yesterday. This is beautiful. I don't know if this was yesterday. She didn't give me the date, but beautiful shot nonetheless. You can see those beautiful clouds off in the distance and the wet road after some rain there. I'm taking a look at Cal Pines, California, up in Modoc County. Thank you, Chappie Debbie Mitchell. I didn't even know there was a lake out there. How cool is that? That's awesome. And of course, some of that leftover snow that we did see over the weekend. Share your photos with the free Weather NorCal app. It's very easy to do, folks. All you do is go to your iPhone, your Android, go to your app store and search for Weather NorCal. Look for that icon you see right there with the W and the N. Tap install, and you're downloading the app for free. All right, good morning, everyone. How you doing this morning? Let's see, check in and see how everyone's doing. Casey saying that, giving me his morning report. 3,600 feet in Shingletown, a total of 1.2 inches of rain. Wow, that's a lot of rain. We saw a lot of rain in some areas. I mean, again, it was just one of those steady, light to moderate rain in some areas here for parts of the valley. But then there were others that just didn't see much. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning to Nick and Dizzy. I'm assuming some of these names on Facebook are like your nicknames or something, right? Good morning from Redding. Terry, how you doing? Raining in Cottonwood. Not surprised there. We're seeing those showers kind of scattered across the area this morning. Bill, good morning from Red Bluff. Wet with showers. And yes, certainly seeing that now. Got some good irrigation on my balding spot. Hoping it will promote some good spring growth. And I'm hoping you're talking about your lawn and not your head. I could use a little bit of growth here on the back of my head right here. Good morning, Shelley from Weaverville. Yes, raining here right now. By the way, I have your app. Such a great way to plan my days at school with the students. Awesome. You must be a teacher. Kudos to you. My wife is a teacher too. And some of the stories. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun to work with the kids. Depends on what age, too. Brandon Elwood. I don't know if I'd call it a lake at Lake California, but at one time it was big enough to ski competition before this spotted and out. But that, yeah, I agree. But that picture you were looking at was from Cal Pines. That's up north. That's up in Modoc County. So Lake California is different. So again, I'll show you that image. This is the one I was talking, and I'm assuming this is the one you're talking about. This is from Chappie Debbie Mitchell up in Cal Pines, California. That's the lake that you can see there. That looks like a lake to me. That's bigger than a pond, that's for sure. But again, I haven't really seen that, but I'm sure it's gorgeous. It looks gorgeous from what I'm seeing there. Good morning from West Redding. Light rain in West Redding right now. Not a surprise. I'm going to look out my window here in Redding. It's so nice having a window. Looks like it's drizzling out there a little bit, seeing those puddles here. Was talking about my head, Ella. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I've got a bunch of bald spots on my lawn too, by the way. The thing is, my lawn died about 2 years ago during that drought. I just didn't get enough water on it because, I was trying to preserve water. And we put, when the drought ended, we put, mulch down and everything. We just cleared everything and just had dirt on the front lawn. And then, of course, planted grass. It didn't do so well. It looks cruddy. Looks terrible. We're again those neighbors on the lawn, or a lawn looks terrible. But I'm just not good. We have a hill. It's hard on landscaping. It's difficult. And the thing is, I don't want to spend a lot of money on landscaping to kind of get that out of them. My neighbor next to me had a hill just like me. He had that all taken care of, but spent thousands upon thousands of dollars to make it look beautiful. And I sometimes can't verify spending that kind of money. All right, that's just me. Good morning. We didn't blow away last night. Hope this is ending soon. It is. There is some light at the end of the tunnel, everybody. And we'll see that when we take a look at your main forecast here, because we do have some drier weather in the forecast, and warmer too. And then we're going to see another round of rain. We're going to have to kind of get through that. And then it looks like going into the end of next week, things getting interesting. Something for you to stick around and check out and watch. Thank you, Lisa, saying I'm an amazing meteorologist. I love the nice words. Good morning from Curtis. 7 miles west of Red Bluff, measured about an inch in 1 hour last evening. Wow, an inch in 1 hour? Wow, it was coming down. So heavy at times it interrupted satellite internet. Wow, okay. Let me take a look at the radar. Let's take a look at that radar. Take you back in time. Let's take you back in time. I'm going to get you in here, folks. Let's get you in there. Let's get the right radar up. First of all, we're going to take it. It's called the Beale. It's called the Beale radar, by the way, but it's actually in Oroville. All right, let's take it back in time. What time was that? Let's see. You said last night. All right. Well, we'll take it back. Maybe 8 hours. Let's take it back here. So that was 10:47 last night. Let me take it back a little bit more in time. Let's see if there was maybe something I'm missing here. I was in bed. I'll be honest with you. I was in bed. It's turning into a joke in my house because I'm going to bed so early, like sometimes before 7 in the evening. That's why I'm not very active on Facebook after about 6. All right, so let's see here. Let's see if I can find... Oh, there we go. Man, it was coming down. I must have been out cold. Where was it? Here we go. Look at that. That was actually a 648. Yeah, I was pretty much dead to the world by then, honestly. But yeah, okay. All right. That did come down. I mean, I have to take it back even more in time. Let's take it back 18 hours, 24 hours. All right. Now we can get a better... There we go. So yeah, I mean, it was... That line really kind of pushing through, and then boom. And then, of course, it ended, and we're all there. All right, interesting. Thanks for that heads up, Curtis. Trying to enjoy the rain. I'll be complaining about the heat soon enough. Yeah, I think we all will be, right? That's fun. It's again, this rain, this is great because how many years have we talked about droughts and all that stuff, right? And now we're not dealing with droughts. We are dealing with too much rain. I mean, most of us in Northern California right now are over 100% of average for the season since October 1st. That's the season, when the season starts. And the snowpack, finally, most every mountain range, most every mountain area is in the Sierra, at least, if not over 100%, very close to it. So this is awesome. This is great. We got some great reserves. The lakes are in great shape. I mean, let's enjoy it. And hope we don't get a big drought like we've seen in the years past. Yeah, it was around 6:15. Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for the exact timing. So there you go. So that was fun, kind of going checking out the radar. It is 6:49 in the morning. What do you say we get to that forecast so you can watch and see what's going on? Before we get to that forecast, we need, of course, mention our sponsor of Coffee with Krueger, made possible by at Wind River Resort and Casino. Enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Okay, it's time to get to that forecast now and see what's going on out there. And we certainly have some showers for some of us. Some of us are dry. Some of us are seeing a little bit of fog out there this morning. I mean, it's, for lack of a better term, it's a pretty standard term, a mixed bag, right? It's just a little bit of everything out there, just depending on where you are. So you can see those showers moving from the southwest to the north and east. This right here is a column of moisture that has been aimed at Northern California since yesterday. However, yesterday, that main column right here was parked over here, okay? And so we saw a lot of that rain on the coast. We saw a lot of that rain for the inland areas. We saw a lot of that rain to the north and even into the valley. So Redding, just north of Red Bluff, was kind of that cutoff point where we were seeing that steady rain, and then of course just some scattered showers and not very heavy south of Red Bluff and even not that much in Chico, although it was kind of drizzly in Chico. And then of course you head to the north and east and there wasn't that much either, but that's all changing, because now that column has shifted to the south. And the thing is, what's going to do is kind of do a little bit like this. It'll kind of tilt a little bit more in this direction as we go through the morning hours. And eventually, even though Chico, Oroville, and mostly Willows is dry, that will be changing here, most likely in the afternoon hours. So there again, you can see that rain that we're seeing right now towards the city of Shasta Lake, Redding, Anderson, Palisadro, and of course, even Lakehead seeing some of that shower activity. All right, I'm going to take you down to the south now, and there you can see Anderson showers, but Red Bluff dry for now. Dairyville still seeing some light showers, but this activity moving to the north and east. So we take you to the south, and you can see these showers as they move to the north and east may just dodge. Red Bluff, you just may dodge this cell right here. South Red Bluff, yeah, you may see some of those showers. Corning, just east of Corning, actually seeing some heavier rainfall. Probably good for the farms out there. Take you out to Los Molinos, and of course that's all heading to Los Molinos, so you're going to be dealing with some light to even moderate rainfall here in the next 10-15 minutes or so. And then of course we take it to the south. This is a lot of ground clutter. This is all basically dry conditions here. There may be some light drizzle out there, but for the most part it is dry to the south, southeast of Corning. Meanwhile, we take you out to South Humboldt County. Remember I was saying it's going to be dry for most of the north coast? It is, although you head down into southern Humboldt County, and we can see some of those showers that we're seeing this morning out towards Garberville on Highway 101. Look at that, even some heavier rainfall developing. We could even be maybe looking at some small hail associated with that. No lightning that I can see as of yet. There you can see 0 strikes, but there's certainly some of that heavier rainfall on Highway 101. This is all moving to the north and east. Mad River, Ruth, you'll be dealing with some of that shower activity as well. Let's take you off into Trinity County now, off to the north and east, and you can see it's not very heavy. Did get that report that it's a little wet out in Weaverville right now, not to mention probably Hayfork, Big Bar, Burnt Ranch, right, along Highway 299. There's Hyam Palm, Mad River, seeing some of those showers too. But as we take you off to Siskiyou County, Modoc County, yeah, it looks like a few flurries out there, mainly above 4,000 feet. That's why, of course, we are seeing some of the snow up there on Cedar Pass. There's Cedar Pass right there. So we saw some snow that just moved over Cedar Pass. And of course, we take you to the south here. And this is going to be in Lassen, Plumas counties, eastern Shasta County. There you can see some of the snow that we've seen and are still seeing over Lassen Volcanic National Park. See, there it is right there. So when we were looking at the camera for the north entrance there, there was still a lot of snow on the highway there. That's because you can see that little flurry that's coming through. These little flurries can have a big impact, and that's why we tend to see those chain requirements, even though when there's not a lot of activity out there. All right, right now we're looking at about 50 for Redding, 50 for Red Bluff, 49 degrees for Willows, 37 in Susanville, 33 out in Alturas, 38 for Wairika. We got those temperatures mid to upper 40s out along the coast. Here's your headlines. Today is the transition from the cool and wet conditions to the dry and warmer. Still cool and wet in some areas, but by tomorrow, it won't be cool and wet. Because not only will it be drier, but it'll be warmer by the end of the week, Thursday, Friday. But get this, we got more wet weather in the forecast. Listen, this is a welcome sight. Let's keep it coming, right? In moderation, right? But let's keep it coming, because we can still fill out those lakes. We can still get that snow in the mountains, get that nice reserve, right? So this is good, even though it's nice to get that break. So we're going to get that break at the end of the week, right? But then we got more wet weather for Saturday, Sunday, possibly Monday, Tuesday of next week. And then, this is something I kind of picked up on yesterday, still seeing it this morning. Big warm up by the end of next week. Yeah, around Thursday, Friday, into that next weekend. We'll see. We'll take a closer look at that here in a second. So this right here is the area of low pressure that's responsible for what we've seen here over the last 24 hours. So I want to show you what's going on here. You see that flow? So what we're seeing here is this flow coming in from the south and west. Even though this area of low pressure is moving out, there's another disturbance to our north that's creating a bit of a trough. When you have that trough, what happens is you still get that southwesterly flow. So what's happening is, even though this storm is moving to the south and east, that upper level flow that we're dealing with is still transporting that moisture northward. Typically, if we didn't have that, if we had high pressure building in, this would all be moving to the south and that cloud cover would be gone. But that's not the case. We got this disturbance which is tapping into the moisture here and bringing it up over us, which is why it's wet. So this kind of will show you what it looks like. You see there's the area of low pressure. So typically what happens is you kind of get that rotation around it. And so you'll still see some of that wraparound moisture. But what we're seeing here, this is the little dip in the jet stream. This right here is what we call a disturbance, basically. And what's happening is, you see it kind of taps in. You see this little wind right here? It's tapping into the moisture here, bringing it up northward. So there you have it. That's what's going on right now. But that's all going to start to change. As this low pressure moves eastward, we see high pressure building in. There's a warmer air moving in for Thursday and Friday. Check this out though. This is what's coming in on Saturday, but it's going to get weakened and get pushed up to the north on Saturday. So the rain on Saturday won't be all that intense. Not to mention the snow around 4,000 feet. You can see the bulk of the activity is kind of up here. This right here is coming in on Sunday. This will be a deeper area of low pressure, or trough of low pressure. So you see this little trough right here, or not little, but trough. This is what we call that trough axis. This is where we're seeing the most amount of instability. So as we go through the day on Sunday, rain will probably pick up in intensity for everyone from west to east. I think it'll start Sunday morning for the coast, and eventually by the afternoon, the valley, eastern mountains starting to see some of that activity as well, because that then shifts eastward, and we see a flatter pattern moving in. So you see right here, Tuesday, there's a weaker trough of low pressure moving in. So this is Monday, Tuesday, chances for rain. But check this out. You see this little bit of an arc right here in this warmer air? This is high pressure building. Look what happens. It really starts to build for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. I mean, look at this. This time of the year especially, a little uncommon, right? But this is warmer air. Temperatures are really going to ramp up. We're looking at drier conditions. I mean, you can see a big area of low pressure just trying to move in, but this is what we call a blocking ridge of high pressure. As it tries to move in, this is like a brick wall right here. It just goes boom, it hits that brick wall, starts to break apart, and then the energy kind of moves up northward as a result. Sometimes, though, you can see a strong area of low pressure, kind of what we call undercut that ridge. And we'll see if that actually happens, but a lot to unfold here, and a lot to really watch here as we get toward the end of next week. But the Climate Prediction Center is beginning to pick up a little bit on that, because now we're starting to break away from the below normal temperatures to seeing better chances of above to near normal. That's what we're looking at here from March 12th through the 16th. And check this out. So as that system kind of moves out, I think we could see the potential for what we call convective thunderstorms. Think about this. If we get enough clearing this morning into the early afternoon hours, that's enough to get convective thunderstorms, because what happens is you get heat for the day because you got clear, or you've got, even breaks in the clouds. The sun is able to kind of get down to the surface and heat up the surface. So as the surface heats up, what happens is that rises. That's a form of instability, because as that heat rises into the colder air aloft, we see convection. And that's when we start to see clouds, showers, and maybe even thunderstorms developing. That's why we're in this area of green here. It's a slim chance. I mean, it is very slim, but don't be surprised if you're in Tehama, Glenn, or Butte County and you hear a rumble of thunder, or even get caught under a thunderstorm later this afternoon. We'll see. Let's take a look at Futurecast. And there you can see this morning, there it is. There's the rain that we're dealing with right now. So yes, Garberville, southern Trinity County, even most of Trinity County is seeing the scattered showers right now. But look at central and northern Humboldt County, Del Norte County, western Siskiyou County. It's dry, and it will be dry for the rest of the day. Because now that column of moisture right here, now we're behind that. In most of Trinity County, most of Siskiyou County, Del Norte, Humboldt County. Look at this. We're actually possibly even seeing some clearing by the noon hour for places like Crescent City. That'll be kind of fun to check out the cameras there. And then we go into 5 p.m. You see what's happening? You see how we can see some of these pop-up showers, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm this afternoon and evening. But now that low pressure system's diving to the south, we're seeing more of a north wind, and this is going to allow this all to push down to the south. And we're beginning to see some clearing later this afternoon and evening for parts of even the valley. Now, you can see as we go into Thursday morning, Futurecast not picking up on it. But one of the things I've got my eyes on is the potential for some dense fog in the valley, and not to mention the mountain and inland valleys as well. Because if we get the clearing and calm winds, what that will do is allow us to really see some fog. Because, I mean, we've seen some rain, a very saturated atmosphere for the last week or so. What I'm anticipating is that we could see, if we get the clear skies, calm winds, the ground is very saturated. There's a lot of low-level moisture just hanging around, and that could really help to develop some of that fog. However, I think the key, and one of the reasons why Futurecast isn't picking up on that fog, because the winds may be just a little bit too strong for us to see that fog. Now, of course, as we take you into Friday, we're still looking at those dry conditions. Looks like some clouds beginning to move in Friday evening in advance of Saturday's storm system that'll bring us more rain. All right, taking a look at the forecast rainfall totals. And yes, I think we could pick up another 1/4 of an inch for Redding as you head to the south, a bit less than that, and nothing being recorded. I think that's overdoing it for Hoopa. I don't think Hoopa will see any rainfall. Not to mention even Etna may be struggling as well. So again, you can see that column where that moisture is that kind of shifts down to the south here later on this afternoon. I think Chico could maybe see more, especially if we get a stray shower. All right, so we're going to talk about the winds now. So here you can see Wednesday morning. Now look at the winds though. They're a little bit from the south still. And now we're going to take you into Wednesday, 5 p.m. Now we're seeing those winds coming in from the north for later this afternoon. Again, that's important because that's going to now help to push that moisture to the south, and we'll be looking at drier conditions, not to mention some gusty winds there. And then it looks like as we go into Thursday morning, we're still seeing those winds. So see the winds, how they're blowing from the north? That could be a little gusty. And again, this could also be the case what we're seeing in the morning as well. So that could help to scour out any fog that does try to develop. But it does look like we are going to see some, we'll call it breezy, borderline windy conditions here through the day on Thursday before those winds start to die down, taking you into your Friday. Not to mention Friday morning, but Friday afternoon. And look at this, by Friday afternoon, now we're beginning to see some winds coming from the south. That's in advance of the next trough of low pressure that'll be moving in on Saturday. All right, so again, here's the setup. There's that little dip right there. This is what we call a little trough of low pressure disturbance. That's the reason why we're still seeing showers at noon. Then that moves out. Then, as we go into Thursday, you see how we have this ridge of high pressure building in, but before it actually builds over us, we've got to get it to us, right? So in advance of it, for Thursday, we'll be right in that flow. This right here is kind of that nightmare that we deal with in the summer and when we're dealing with dry north winds. This is kind of the same type of setup where you've got high pressure off to our west, the flow around that high pressure right there. We're right there, and that's going to give us the support for some of those gusty winds that we could see through a portion of Thursday. Then that shifts to the east. High pressure is the dominant feature Friday, dry. There's Saturday's system coming on in, but you see how it gets weaker. So it's going to break apart before it gets here. Won't bring us a ton of rain or snow on Saturday. Now we're just kind of watching a parade of storms, as I like to call it. Weak ones, not very strong, but a parade of storms that'll be coming in for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, keeping our chances for rain. But between these parades, you know how like you have a parade sometimes and something cool comes through, that's like a rain, right? Then you're like looking down, like where's the next float? Well, that's kind of what's going on here. You got a float here, you got a float here. So between it, there's a break, right? I don't know if that was the best analogy, but I'm, doing the best I can here. Here's Sunday. There you can see some of the rain. So this is going to be a deeper, stronger trough of low pressure, as I mentioned earlier. So I do anticipate that as we go through the day on Saturday, the chances for rain begin to pick up for everyone east of the coast. There's the break, right? But then as we go into Monday, Tuesday, we got the next chance for rain. And, Tuesday's system doesn't look all that bad. After Tuesday, that should be it. because then that ridge of high pressure builds in. We talked about it a little bit earlier. We're dry and we are warmer. All right, precipitation outlook. Climate Prediction Center is showing that we are getting away from better chances of above normal rainfall. We've been really in these darker shades of green, indicating a higher chance of seeing above normal rainfall, but we're really more or less within that near normal. So yes, we still have that rain in the long range, but we're just not going to see as much. And then of course we get that big break by the end of next week possibly. So looking at the forecast rainfall, and again, this is why we can't just go, oh, it's over. No, because it won't be. As we go through next Tuesday, yeah, we could pick up an inch or more for parts of the valley. And how about the coast? You could pick up an inch or more as well, even upwards of over 2 inches. But obviously just not seeing as much off to the north and east as we typically see. All right, those wave heights for today, they're fairly high. That's why there's that small craft advisory, which you'll see here in a second, but that should be allowed to expire by tomorrow because the wave heights, that is, will start to drop. So there's a marine forecast. Yeah, gusty winds northwest at about 20 to 30 knots, and there you can see that small craft advisory for today. Okay, so let's take a look at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. There's Highway 299, temperatures low 50s, 46 for Trinity Center and 46 degrees for Coffee Creek. We're starting off with the showers this morning. By noon-ish, give or take, it'll dry, and it will stay dry through Friday before we see that parade of storms I was talking about for Saturday, Sunday through Tuesday. Let's take you off to the south in Trinity County, starting the morning off with those showers, as I mentioned, drying out by around noonish, okay? As we go into your North Coast neighborhood forecast, morning showers, Garberville, Redway, Miranda, maybe Redcrest, maybe that far north, that'll be hard pressed. Then drying out really by mid-morning. There's your North Coast neighborhood forecast going to the north. Ferndale, 52, 51 for Hyattsville, 52 degrees for Fortuna, and Rio Dell, about 49. We'll take you up north with 52 for Trinidad, 52 in McKinleyville, Eureka, about 52, and Willow Creek, 52 degrees as well. Take you up north, it's dry all day long for northern Humboldt, Del Norte County, and there, of course, dry through Friday. And then, of course, you got those showers coming in this weekend. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. I think morning showers again. But as we go through really midday, those chances for showers start to diminish. Same story for Scott Valley. 43 for Greenview, 40 degrees for Fort Jones, Callahan about 46, and 44 degrees in Etna. All right, let's take you to central and eastern Siskiyou County. I think we'll see better chances even in the afternoon for eastern Siskiyou County to see some stray showers through at least the first half of the afternoon. And that'll probably be the case for your Modoc County neighborhood forecast as well, because we're going to continue to see that flow through at least midday, if not a little bit longer, and you got the better chances going through the day. Eastern Mountains, you've also got the chances this afternoon and evening for flurries above 4,000 feet and some scattered showers, otherwise drying out by Thursday, Friday. And of course, that's also the case for Saturday and Sunday. Here's a look at Lake Almanor, Lassen Park. Temperatures are still cold. There you can see in the low 30s for the south. But as you head north, a little bit warmer out towards Manzanita Lake. Chester about 45 and looks like 41 degrees in Westwood. Here's your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast to the south. Paradise, you'll get up to about 54 degrees today. Could see some showers later this afternoon. It's dry now, but you will possibly see some of those showers this afternoon. And not to mention places like Doyle and Janesville and even Susanville. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast. Those temperatures are going to be in the upper 50s. To the north, to the south, temperatures in the low 60s. That's because I think we're going to see some more clearing for the first half of the day. And if we get enough of that clearing, then we could see some lightning strikes in some of these areas. Orland, Willows, maybe even Elk Creek, and Gridley, Oroville, Durham, all of them. There's that chance. Otherwise, just a chance for a stray shower this afternoon. Dry for Thursday, Friday. Take you up north. Notice the temperatures, they are cooler. Only about 55 for Redding, 56 in Cottonwood. Even cooler up in Lakehead at 49, 51 degrees for Whiskeytown and Palace Hedro, about 55 degrees. So here's a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Of course, we're looking at those showers today, especially this morning. And yep, it looks like it's still drizzling out there. I'm looking out my window as I'm giving the forecast. I guess anyone could do that, right? All right, there you can see Thursday, Friday. It's sunny, it's warmer. And then there is that quote-unquote parade of storms. Again, this is not going to be a complete washout, what we're seeing there for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. By the way, I forgot to mention this yesterday, is you need to spring forward. Daylight saving time, is it begins? I always get those mixed up. But yeah, spring forward 1 hour. What does that mean? You lose an hour of sleep? That's no fun. And when you wake up in the morning, it'll be darker. That's no fun either. I was actually looking forward to it not being darker because look at this. We can take a look at cameras and actually see things because it's not dark out. But unfortunately, next week when I'm taking a look at this camera at this time, it'll probably be dark. Isn't that fun? All right. All right, I'm being a curmudgeon. Let's see here. What is going on? Nitty gritty? Yeah, nitty gritty. I should try to figure out a way to brand this deeper dive forecast. I mean, deep dive seems pretty standard. I should try to come up with something a little bit more creative. Nitty gritty. Let's get to the nitty gritty. I like that. I'll put that in my little bag of ideas. Sunday at 2 a.m. spring forward. Yes. We could share a rain with Texas. Yeah. Right? Ugh. Man, what a nightmare there. How crazy is that over there? I haven't been following it that closely, but from little snippets that I'm getting, it blows my mind. Morning from rainy Lewiston. Where did I see something? Did I see something? Maybe not. Snow. Okay, here. Yeah, that's what I saw. Sandy, thank you for this report. Snowing in Alturas right now. 40. That was at 7:02, so not too long ago. 4,700 feet. Pretty wet. Okay, so it's a wet snow. Let's take a look at the radar up there. Here we go. Let's get you in on this. There. Let's do this one instead. I mean, I'm not really seeing. We're in Alturas at 4,700 feet. Let's see. No, I'm not seeing anything there. Tell you what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the analysis. There we go. Let's get out of there. And here we go. We go change out the radars. Let's start with one out of Reno. Unfortunately, that's not really showing us anything. We can go back in time. It's showing some of the snow. And of course, I was talking about that a little bit earlier. There have been some snow flurries kind of up. Oh, there we go. This looks a little better. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. There it is. Yeah, a little wet. That pink is kind of the rain-snow mix. So that was about the time that you had commented. At 7:02. So this is 7:04. Looking at the radar, yeah, you can see some of the snow / rain, bit of a mix there. So yeah, a little confirmation there. Curmudgeon. Got a job by using that word in an interview. Cool. Yeah, take a pic. I'd love to see your pictures. There you go. All right, awesome. Let's take a look at some of those cameras out there as we wrap up this edition of Coffee with Krueger. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. It is Wednesday. When I say us, I mean me. Because it's just me. There's no one helping me out here. At least when I'm doing these live things. Good morning to you, Tamara. Yeah, so there's a look at... This is Elk Country. And you'll have to forgive me. Sometimes I do these little long pauses because I'm doing a bunch of things at once. But yeah, you're looking at Elk Country, just north of Trinidad. Looks wet, but it's actually dry. I mean, it's going to be dry up there all day long today. So whatever you're seeing there is just kind of that leftover moisture from what we saw yesterday, where we saw a lot of rain in many of those areas. We take you out to North Forebay, Lake Oroville. There you go. All right. I'm going to leave you with these beautiful shots, the different cameras. In the meantime, have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger. Bye.